From LALATE News Headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
Breaking news this morning on Early Mornings LALATE. Third stimulus checks of $1,400, 2 million of them land yesterday. And this included non-veterans. So who was in the group? I have the breaking details and the latest video from the White House on this subject. Also, 4 stimulus heats up those monthly stimulus checks. And I'll have the latest push from those Senate Democrats and those House Democrats. Also, out of nowhere, a new $6,000 stimulus item gets a standalone bill. And guess who introduces it? Ron Wyden. Also, Elizabeth Warren introduces a new push, and she gets the data she wants on student loan debt forgiveness and how many millions of Americans that could help. Also happening across the board today is new economic data that came in, and it surprised everyone. The banks blew out their Q1 numbers, and it showed that Wall Street couldn't predict anything correctly, underestimating the strength of the economy right off the board. But did Wall Street underestimate the IPO of Coinbase yesterday? What happened? I'll detail that in a preview of our new show coming up later on Mornings LA, Coin LA. Meantime, what's important to see is a series of new videos from Chuck Schumer talking about fourth stimulus, a new push from the White House talking about what's happening with third stimulus, and a new video from the White House explaining how it's important to get fourth stimulus done. I have all the details and all the big exciting news, whether it's third stimulus, fourth stimulus, or those standalone stimulus bills happening before fourth stimulus. Let's get to it, and let's get to Early Mornings LA. Is toasting and the butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here, and the coffee's brewing. And guess what landed here yesterday? More third stimulus checks of $1,400. And what also could be landing here as well is 6,000 stimulus check dollars and monthly stimulus checks on top of that. And also $50,000 of student loan debt. Wow, that's a lot of money in just one sentence to say. I'm almost out of breath. I think I need some bacon. Do you have some? Oh, you don't. Okay. How are you? Thank you for joining me on a big early mornings broadcast. I'm so excited you're joining me. Thank you for joining me last night on the Laugh a Minute of Javita Late. 1 hour special broadcast of Javita Late last night. And we had a lot of laughs and a lot of fun. Also yesterday, I debuted a new show on this channel. Thank you for joining me on that live chat. It's a new show covering cryptocurrency. And it educates you what it is, how it works, how it can impact you as well, and how you can make some money on it. Coin LA every day now on Mornings LA, a new live 30-minute show. We had a lot of fun yesterday. So let's get to the detail. But first, if you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. First item of great news, third stimulus checks of $1,400. Yesterday, I didn't know if there were third stimulus checks of $1,400 dropping in wave 5 April 14th for anyone other than veterans. But we learned there are. First, I was the first one to tell you that April 14th was wave 5. Is there a wave 6 at this point? There may be. What we saw yesterday was a surprising series of events. First of all, let me back up. I had told you about 2 weeks ago that the veterans who do not file tax returns, you would be the cleanup round for wave 5 for April 14th. And that I have had veterans get stimulus checks all throughout the prior rounds, but this time it was your turn if you don't file tax returns and you hadn't got a prior stimulus check, third stimulus check. Wave 5, April 14th. Well, then I asked viewers, is anyone else besides veterans getting stimulus checks this week? Didn't hear anything. So I didn't know what to think. And then we got the video. Yes. The White House did us a favor and explained to us, we have exactly the data for you. So 2 million stimulus checks of the third stimulus package of $1,400 went out this week, both direct deposit and by mail. And only 300,000 of them are for veterans who do not file tax returns or non-filer filing tools. The rest is everyone else, including SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, people who don't file tax returns. In this new video from the White House, it gives us incredible great clarity. I like this video. Now we're going to remind ourselves every Wednesday to tune in and see what happened the day before for another round of stimulus checks. Here she explains who actually got stimulus checks during this latest round yesterday. Let's listen in. First, she gives us a little briefing about a new head who will oversee ensuring you get your stimulus.
Feels like it should be later than Wednesday in the week. I may be the only one who feels that way. Okay, a couple of items for you all at the top. Today, the Department of Treasury announced the establishment of a new department, the Office of Recovery Programs, to lead the Treasury Department's implementation of economic relief and recovery programs, including nearly $420 billion in programs from the American Rescue Plan. This new office, which will be led by the inaugural Chief Recovery Officer, Jacob Liebenluft, will be focused on efficiently establishing and administering Treasury's programs to support an equitable and swift recovery from the economic challenges brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic. Jacob will also serve as the lead administrator of recovery programs and a principal advisor on recovery program implementation, and he, of course, will work closely with Gene Sperling. Another piece of good news, today the IRS, the U.S. Department of Treasury, and the Bureau of Fiscal Service announced that they are dispersing nearly $2 million payments from the American Rescue Plan, which brings the total dispersed so far to approximately 159 million payments, with a total value of more than $376 billion. Since these payments began rolling out just last month, over 320,000 payments worth $450 million went to Veterans Affairs beneficiaries who receive VA benefits but don't normally file a tax return and didn't use the non-filers tool last year, hence it took a little bit longer. These payments also include Social Security beneficiaries who didn't file a 2020 or 2019 tax return, and the latest batch of payments has a total value of more than $3.4 billion. Finally,
so there you go. Very good, clear explanation. And we need to remind ourselves every Wednesday to watch her first opening remarks to see if there's another round of stimulus checks. So people who got stimulus checks yesterday are not just veterans, people who are just missing checks. So watch the mail. The mail checks are about 2 weeks late, and that everyone else, watch the direct deposit. You may have that as there. Meantime, big news from Ron Wyden, who wants to give you $6,000 of stimulus. This is on top of everything else we've been talking about. But let's cut to forced stimulus for a little bit. Forced stimulus heated up yesterday as big economic news came in. And boy, you want this bill in that Senate as soon as possible. Every day passes and we see more good economic news, makes us a little bit worried. So who and where and what and how do we need to know about forced stimulus? Well, House members want to give you stimulus checks every month for the pandemic plus 1 year after the pandemic. The House members want you to give you stimulus checks from now to December. Who are the people behind this? The House members are progressives. They're younger members of Congress. They're newer members of Congress. The senators are senior members of Congress. They are leading Democrats. You hear me talk about them in a lot of other subjects on this channel because they are the movers and shakers. How much is the monthly check? The House members want to do $2,000 for the first month, $1,000 for every month after that. The senators haven't said. So, do we have a guidance about the amount? One viewer asked me, when do we know certain the senator's amount? We don't know it until it lands by recon in the Senate. But we do know where the word on the street says they're landing. Word on the street says the senators want to do $1,400 a month or $2,000 a month. And in this case, word on the street is the same as implication as a proposal because ultimately until there's a vote, everything can get modified. $1,400 over 6 months. Wow. Look at this. Moolah. It's just huge. $8,400. This is an individual. Wow. $2,000 a month over 6 months. $12,000. Goodness. This is a lot of money. This is the most money that any single individual has seen on this channel. Who gets it? If you made less than $75,000, it's you. If the household of 4 or less, it's you. If you're on SSI or SSDI, it's you. And remember, these are individual check amounts. This is not you plus 20 other people. This is approximately $2,000 a month for just you. So if there's a household number of 4, well, that's $8,000 for the household per month. And away we go. But boy, what is the worry? It's not Joe Manchin. It's not Mitch McConnell. It's not the Temple Doom. It's not Larry Kudlow's calculator. The concern is the economy's booming fast, and you want this bill to move faster than the economy's booming. And every day I tell you the same message, more good data. Well, what happened yesterday? Going into yesterday, Wall Street was estimating that the Q1 earnings reports from the banks was going to be strong, going to show good growth in the economy. What do those numbers come in at? Oh, boy. They weren't strong. They were the Incredible Hulk strong. They were, they were Survivor Island strong. I mean, they were just incredibly through the roof numbers. It shows that Wall Street has no idea of how strong this economy is and continues to estimate the rebounding. Let's look at how strong these economic numbers were yesterday. These are these earning numbers, which are indication of the economy. Goldman Sachs, the big investment banking firm, Q1 2021 earnings this year came in yesterday at $18.60 a share. Wall Street is expecting $10.22. They got that one wrong. Look at that. That's nearly double what Wall Street was anticipating. And that's even with guidance from Goldman Sachs say, hey, we're going to have a good year. We're going to have a good year. Okay, we'll give you $10 estimate. And then they come in at that blowout number. It's in fact so indicative that insiders don't have any idea what's going on with this economy that there may be bigger numbers in the horizon. CEO David Solomon said our business remains very well positioned to help our clients reposition their recovery, and that strength is reflected in the record revenues and earnings achieved this quarter. So you can say that again. Look at those numbers. And then came in the beat from Wells Fargo. A beat means when you beat the projections of Wall Street. It was a beat. It was a big beat. Drop in the comment if you think this is a beat. Or if you think this is a beat. Beat that beat button in the comments right now. Look at Wells Fargo Q1 2021 earnings, $1.05 a beat over projected 70 cents. And the revenue was a beat, huge beat. Its CEO, Charlie Scharf, said charge off on historical lows and we're making changes to improve our operations efficiency. But low interest rates and tepid loan demand continue to be a headwind for the quarter. Yeah, but still good news. Look at those numbers. So that is why you want this to get going as soon as possible. You know, the big issue at hand when it's assessing stimulus is not so much. It seems like a lot of money, doesn't it? It seems like those stimulus checks are a lot of money. Don't you think it's a lot? No. The President of the United States wants to spend money. You're going to see Ron Wyden in this video wants to spend $6,000 per person. Democrats want to spend money. The issue is, when do you get the headwind behind you, the push, the support? You get the support when there's 23 million missing jobs in this economy. You get the support when there is continuing unemployment claims of 23 million. When you have 8 million jobs missing. Guess what Thursday morning is? New jobless claims. Thursday morning is new jobless claims. So let's look and see what happened last Thursday before the new Thursday numbers are out. This is where we were last Thursday. So we get prepared in our mindset. Now, if you've been a viewer of this channel for a while, we're approaching our 1-year anniversary. Give us a subscribe. Look at these numbers. 2 weeks ago, we were at 728,000 new jobless claims. Last week, 744. Wall Street said, oh, we're going to get better. No, we got worse, 744. So what do you think this week is going to be? Drop in the comments. Do you think we're going to be better or worse? Drop, do you think it's better or worse? Let's look at what the continuing unemployment number last week was. It was 3.73 million and only improved about 16,000. Not a lot of improvement. Causing problems, California and New York, even though they're opening. Can you imagine California opening and they still have these horrible numbers? So this is the push for that stimulus. Meantime, the big great news from Ron Wyden. He wants to give you more moolah. More moolah than we're even talking about. I mean, this is on top of the moolah I've been talking about so far in this video. This is on top of all that other moolah. So what does he want to give you? You ready for this one? $6,000. $6,000. He wants to give you $6,000. $250 a week for 4 weeks over 6 months. Oh my goodness. Who? Of all those details for you on how much he wants to pay and who's going to get it, coming up right after this commercial break. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Early Mornings LA with the big exciting news that Ron Wyden wants to pay you $6,000. Wow. Of all those details in just a second. But if you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. It's our 1-year anniversary, and I want you to be part of this family. Coverage is now expanding to include stock market and crypto coverage as well. I want you to be financially stable and get on your feet and get in strong and stable throughout this year. Also, like this video. And if you're not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. The link is in the top of the chat. Senator Ron Wyden yesterday introduced a bill which would replace PUA, which is set to expire in September. Remember, the third stimulus package's extensions of pandemic-only events are expiring in September. What's PUA? PUA is that unemployment assistance for people who would normally not get unemployment. Gig workers, sole practitioners, Uber and Lyft, 1099 people. These are not employees. These are independent contractors. On April 25th, this channel launched with me trying to tell Americans what is PUA. No one had made a single video on April 25th anywhere about what PUA was. No one had even heard of it. It had just gone live under the first stimulus package. It was never in existence before. Gig workers would never get unemployment from a state because they're not employees. They're not W-2s. Well, over the next few weeks, I detailed for viewers how to get it. It went live in California April 28th, but others got the money as other states were slow to the rodeo, like Florida and others thereafter. It's important to understand that as that money started to flow in, then people understood how to get the stuff going. Then the items at issue really hit. And PUA ran now through several extensions, but this September is likely to be the last one. So Ron Wyden has a solution. He wants to make it permanent, but with a new name, and to pay you over 6 months if trouble erupts again. He introduced yesterday, Ron Wyden, the senator of Democrat from Oregon, a bill called the Unemployment Insurance Modernization Act that would give job security to those individuals. How much would it pay? $250 a week for 6 months. In other words, $6,000. Who would get it? Self-employed workers, gig workers, and other workers who would normally not get unemployment because they're not employees. Again, $250 a week for 6 months. Wyden issued a new statement yesterday. He said our unemployment system is broken, and it's been broken for decades. As we've seen over the last year, it's much harder for the employment system to work in a crisis where it's been neglected and sabotaged. This would coincide with the extension of a PUA about to unfold. Meantime, Elizabeth Warren got a great set of news yesterday. On Tuesday, Elizabeth Warren had asked the federal government to release the data on the number of people who are currently holding student loan debt of $50,000 or less. She's using this part of her push to get it forgiven. Well, she got that data released yesterday, and she released it to the American people, and I have it for you as well. 36 million Americans are carrying $50,000 of student loan debt or less. So, if that got forgiven by executive order later this week, 36 million Americans would be debt-free. They've been impeded from being able to buy a house or buy a car, start a business because of the $50,000 of student loan debt. This would be the biggest event that we've seen ever of its magnitude. Education Secretary Miguel Cardona has until Friday to prepare that deal memo for the president, saying if he has the legal authority to forgive student loan debt by executive order. I'm reporting that today is likely to the day that the president will announce it. I've been saying it for over a week that I believe that today the president will announce the student loan debt forgiveness by executive order. We'll see if I'm right. We'll see if I'm all right. Also making news is American Airlines is reopening all its travel routes that you have not seen since 2019. For the first time ever, American believes that we're going to be more capacity since 2019. America is opening 90% of its 2019 routes and 80% of its U.S. routes and 80% of its 2019 international routes ASAP in anticipation of the summer. It says that first quarter 2020 saw 43% drop of its business, and he says now is the time to reopen those routes. Brian Zonies, American Vice President of Operations, said that throughout the pandemic, our trademark has been to build a schedule based upon what customers want and what they need. And now we see that they're telling us to get back to travel. Very exciting, great news. Well, the week started, the day started yesterday with the surprising developments of Coinbase, the first IPO of a crypto business. And that IPO was detailed on this channel. It's crypto business that involves Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and 50 others, where you buy, sell, and convert. The risk at issue of any cryptocurrency is what's perceived as a summer dip and a winter surge. I'll be detailing that more later today on Mornings LALATE on our new show, LALATE. Join me then for that big show. But the president yesterday released a new publicity video, making the push for forced stimulus. He wants it to be done. And in that new video, he explains how important it is to get forced stimulus done. In this video, you'll see the president talk about infrastructure in a highly orchestrated, highly produced, almost presidential campaign video, and only mentions the word climate one time. Let's listen in.
Big, doing it together. We built the interstate highway system. We went to the moon. But then we stopped. Since the 1980s, public domestic investment has fallen substantially. What do we have to show for it? Crumbling bridges and roads, millions of Americans without safe drinking water, and an internet barely available to the huge swath of the country. Last week, I released the American Jobs Plan, and I want to talk about it for a few minutes with you. But first, I want to talk to you about why investing in our country matters. When we've invested in America in innovation, we've been rewarded beyond imagination. Take the space race. Now, everybody knows we went to the moon. It was an achievement not just for our country, but for the world. Our investment yielded a return far greater than landing on the moon. Baby food, digital camera sensors, airplane wing designs, satellites, all of these things came out of the money spent on space research. When we invested in the interstate highway system, we changed the way people travel and how we lived. Suddenly, a family could visit anyone across the country in a station wagon. A business in Pittsburgh could ship things more efficiently across the country to Portland. Since then, research from the federal government has led to innovations like GPS, lithium batteries, the technology behind the very phone you might be watching this on. I raise these things not to have government take credit. Lots of brilliant people in the public and private sector have contributed to our country's progress. But that's the point. The worst thing you can do is bet against the ingenuity of the American people. When we stop investing in research, infrastructure, and jobs of the future, you can bet someone else will do that investment we're not doing. For too long, America has been falling back. The rest of the world is closing in and closing in on us fast. I'm asking you not just to support the bill in Congress or a government program. I'm asking you to imagine a world where you and your family can travel coast to coast without a single tank of gas or on board a high-speed train. Imagine being able to connect to high-speed, affordable, reliable internet wherever you live. Imagine a future where we lead the world and tackle the looming threat of climate change and with American jobs and ingenuity. This isn't a hypothetical proposition. This is a plan. It can happen. It's my American Jobs Plan, and you can check it out on my website. This moment in the economy calls for America, not just the private sector, but the public sector, all of us to do our part. This can be a moment that America wins the future. It's going to take every American to get there. So let's do big things, think big. There's nothing beyond our capacity.
And that was a new video from the White House. What you saw in that video, there was a lot of talk about infrastructure, a lot of imagery, very conjuring up Reagan-esque presidential campaign videos from the 1980s that talked about the grandeur of the American people, a lot of memories and fond memories. But hidden in that message was only one word mention of climate. Why? Because climate is what derails the bill for bipartisan support. You want to push purple power, push, hashtag MSC, hashtag purple power, push on social media. You did a much better job yesterday after I employed you to get pushing. You want this bill to go by reconciliation, this fourth stimulus package, because the Republicans don't want you to have a stimulus check. The president doesn't have a stimulus check at issue. It's the Democrats, the House and Senate Democrats, who want to give you that stimulus check, and they want to put it in there when they do the bill by reconciliation. And with that, let's watch a new video from Leader Schumer, who's one of the people who will help them get that in there. In this video, he talks with Mayor Pete about the virtues of having EV charging stations across the country under the fourth stimulus package.
Network that we have around the country, so that you never have to think twice about whether you're going to be able to get to where you're going, even if it's a long road trip.
Yeah, and I was really gratified, Mayor, that the president adopted the Clean Cars for America proposal that I had proposed a year ago, and it's gotten amazing support. And it has a lot of ramifications that affect all of us as Americans. Not only do we produce the electric cars and provide the charging stations everywhere, one by your home and then across the roads into America. But it's going to keep America preeminent as the #1 electric vehicle producer in the world. We've always been the leading car manufacturer in the world, and we've lost some ground in recent years. The Chinese and some other companies are deeply subsidizing their electric vehicle manufacturing. And if we just sit on our hands, we're going to find, as the world moves to electric vehicles, which it inevitably will because of climate change, we're not going to be driving American cars. So what our proposal does, the president's and ours, says we're going to make them here. And that's one of the reasons we've gotten great union support for our proposal, because it's going to mean more jobs, more American jobs, more good paying jobs, more union jobs.
And there you go. Here's what you need to know to start the new day here on Early Mornings LA. A lot of big details, a lot to recap. First, that EIDL grant of $50,000, that EIDL grant $10,000 is landing in inboxes. I had more viewers yesterday say that they were July applicants and they got the invite. So watch for that inbox email from SBA inviting you to get the remaining $10,000 EIDL grant. Number two, the PPP grant is now live. The Shutter Venue grant is about to go is going live. The other grants, like the restaurant grant, about to go live. The student loan debt forgiveness, that announcement could come today. So stay with me throughout the day. Also, the push for fourth stimulus is happening. Third stimulus checks are still landing in mailboxes about 2 weeks late. And third stimulus checks landed this week, as we learned in that video, of 2 million, including people who are not veterans. So they're getting around to everyone. 2 million checks this week. Will there be more checks this weekend? We'll see. Purple Power, do your thing. Push, push, push. I want you to share these videos. Tag your elected officials, hashtag MSE, hashtag Purple Power. Make sure you like this video. It really helps in the algorithm rankings. 3,000 likes. Become a member, become active, become pushy, and push, 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 because now is the time to get it by recon. There's a 2-month passage to do this bill, and July is just around the corner. As we go into a new day, there's a lot of hope and a lot of optimism. I'm so excited for you joining me on a big morning's broadcast. Thank you for joining me on our new show, LALATE, that returns later this morning on Mornings LALATE. Thank you for joining me last night on Evenings LALATE and that Javita Late segment. Here's CoinLate coming up later today. And I will see you later this morning. Whether the toast is toasting, the butter is buttering, I'm here, you're here, and I'll always be here. And keep it smiling, keep it positive, have a great, beautiful morning, and stay with me as Early Mornings LA continues with Mornings LA starting at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful morning, and stay here as LA continues its new day starting right now. Or sometimes.